Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hold My Nuggets Incorporated. We're in the West Wing in Hold My Nuggets Studios for your 2019 NFL Week 9 post-game analysis show. I am your host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, and I am finally unblocked on YouTube. I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming. And I had an opportunity to watch my Week 8 post-game analysis. Could you believe I called the Adam Vinatieri missed field goal? I was shocked. I completely forgot. I was shocked. I just made a joke at it, and it happened. I called the Chargers game. I think there was another game that I called. I can't remember what it was. But all of those, hey, sometimes my predictions work. In the case of the Baltimore Ravens or the New Orleans Saints, not so much. At least in the past couple of weeks in which I chose against them, or I said, well, not really the Baltimore Ravens, more like Lamar Jackson. And for the Saints, I kept picking against them. Nothing, no hard feelings out to the Saints fans. But sometimes when you try to pick an upset, you get burned. That's what happened. But Week 9, in my opinion, was one of the better weeks thus far this season. You had some great games. Thursday Night Football was great with the 49ers and the Cardinals. The Vikings and Chiefs was a great game. I'm really going down the list. Lions and Raiders was sensational, back and forth. Seahawks and Bucks, not a dull moment in that game. Browns and Broncos down the stretch was interesting. It wasn't really one of those games in which you had to change the channel, but it was interesting down the stretch. It made you wonder, I wonder what's going on. The Steelers and the Colts, that was a very good game as well. Packers and Chargers, defensively I enjoyed that game. Pats and Ravens from start to finish, although the score appeared to be lopsided, although it was really, but it was an exciting game. So I don't know, I enjoyed the game the entire time. And last but not least, the Cowboys and the Giants, that was fun for what it was. But let's break down exactly what transpired. First and foremost, 49ers taking on the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. The Cardinals yet again show that they start slow because they made a late resurgence, but it was far too late. First and foremost, Jimmy G, 4 touchdowns on the day. Pardon me. Porn star Jimmy G, Brass's employee Jimmy G, Naughty American membership Jimmy G went out there, threw for 4 TDs, 28 for 37, 317 yards, 4 TDs on the ground, or I should say through the air. Emmanuel Sanders, E-Man, got 7 catches, 112 yards. George Kittle, 6 catches, 79 yards and a TD. 64% on third down with 34 minutes and a half on time of possession. Once again, time of possession is key. And they didn't even run the ball as effectively as they did last week against Carolina. All right, this time around, Tevin Coleman didn't kill anybody. You didn't see Matt Breida go out there and run up and down the defense. I believe he had 80 yards on the day. But nonetheless, 49ers remain undefeated. Defensively, they showed a little bit of concern in the second half when the Cardinals started to make their resurgence, but nonetheless, it was a good victory for them. Kyler Murray, 17 for 24, 241 and 2 TDs. Still a good job. I love that pass. I think it was a sidearm pass, or it was damn near baseball when he found discount Keyshawn Johnson in the end zone. I mean, and his name's Keyshawn Johnson, but not related to the other Keyshawn Johnson. Ridiculous, ain't it? But sensational pass from him, but it just wasn't enough. And Kenyon Drake, I'm sorry. This guy ran sensational. 15 carries, 110 yards and a TD. I believe he caught a TD pass as well. But they're only 25% on third down. But when they traded for Kenyon Drake, I first said, why the hell do you need this guy? You got David Johnson, but he's hurt. You got Chase Edmonds, but he's hurt. But this guy walked right in and he balled, man. I'm really happy for him because I believe in him. I believe he can be a starting back on somebody's team. I don't think the Cardinals is going to be the team for that, but he's balling, man. But good victory for the 49ers, remaining undefeated, and the only undefeated team remaining in the NFL. They're doing their thing out there in San Francisco. I still have the Saints as the best team in the NFC, but hey, who knows? I've been wrong about the Saints damn near all season, so that can mess around and change. They can mess around and lose this week. I don't see it coming, though. I got my pregame predictions coming up in a couple of hours. Then we have the Texans that took on the Jags. I believe this game was in London, and the Texans pretty much steamrolled the Jags 26-3. Gardner Minshew, 27 for 47, 309, 2 INTs. I said in my post game of Week 8, Nick Foles is coming back extremely soon. I would not be surprised if it's this particular week. I feel as if it's going to be this particular week. And the Jags are probably going to look at it as, what have you done for me lately? So if the Jags lose, if it's a terrible performance from Gardner Minshew, they're probably going to start Foles. And this wasn't really a good outing for him. He didn't play great at all. Leonard Fournette did not help him. Only 40 yards on the ground. Now, on the side of the Texans, sensational play from Deshaun Watson. 22 for 28, 201 yards and a TD. Carlos Hyde and Zeke was playing children's games all over that Jags defense. 160 yards from 19 carries. You got to be kidding me. That fumble at the 1 yard line, though, when they chased him down and punched it out, that was terrible. That's one of those things in which you look at yourself in the mirror, you can't go to sleep. Like your team won, but you feel like trash because you had a play that you know you wish you could take back. That's one of them situations. And more importantly, DeAndre Hopkins, he didn't really do too much in the game, but he's, the dreadlocks was on display. More importantly, 5 sacks. All right, they had 2 INTs and also 2 fumble recoveries, so that defense was doing their thing as well. Hell of a victory for the Texans, man. And now with the injury to Jacoby Brissett, and they don't know, it's up in the air if he's going to play this particular week. They're saying that he's limited in practice, but we'll see where things go from there. But the Texans have an opportunity to take that divisional crown and pretty much run away with it, because the Colts, they were my sleeper to win that division. Now with the injury at the quarterback position, who knows how things play out, but good victory for them. Bills and the Redskins, the Bills walked away 24-9. Dwayne Haskins made his very first start. He didn't do too great, but he didn't do too bad. 15 for 22, 144 yards, no TDs, no INTs. He didn't turn the football over. Every other time we saw this man in the game, he turned the football over. That's a problem. AP all day. Adrian Peterson baptized, and Bills defenders ran. At the time, he had 9 carries for, I believe it was like 98 yards, but he ended the game 18 carries, 108 yards. Sensational game for him. But it just wasn't enough to walk away with a W. Why? The Redskins went 18% on third down. 18%, you can't win football like that. More importantly, for the Bills, all right, you had Josh Allen who went 14 for 20. Sorry, Redskins organization. Is that Snyder calling me? I think that's Snyder calling me. Your team, sell the team. Sell the team. Ever since you took over, they've been utter trash. You know, Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowl championships with 3 different quarterbacks, but evidently nobody's got a quarterback since the 90s, right? That's you, Dan Snyder. Don't call my phone. Don't call my phone unless you're going to hire me and get yourself out of the damn chairman position, all right? Get the hell up out of here. Lose your ownership. I'm sorry, he was calling. I think he could hear me on the answer machine. I hope you did, Snyder. I hope you did. You jackass. Now for the Bills, all right? Josh Allen had about 14 for 20, 260, no, was that 160, or whatever the case was. It was 1 TD. I don't know what I wrote over here for his statistics. I think it was 160 yards. Pardon me. Singletary ran 20 carries, 95 yards in the TD, and they were 50% on third down. God damn it! Snyder, stop calling in the middle of my video, Snyder. I'm not taking the phone. We're not going to pay Dan Snyder no mind, all right? The goddamn trash Redskins need to get rid of everybody in their front office. Just blow up the whole organization. Don't take that seriously, because somebody might just pull up, we support ISIS, and now all of a sudden there's a problem. Now they're coming at me. Hey, you told them to blow it up. That's not what I meant. Now, great game for the Bills. Walked away with a W. I'd still like to see them pass the ball more effectively. We'll have to see that later on in the season. But that's my only concern. I like their defense. I love their rushing attack. If they can get their passing game together, we can take them seriously. But good victory for them. Carolina Panthers taking on the Tennessee Titans. Christian McCaffrey, first and foremost, nutsack all over the goddamn Tennessee Titans. He scored 3 times. You know what that means, because he got the blue eyes by privilege. He summoned it 3 consecutive times. Then he got blue eyes by supremacy. I saw somebody write that in the comment section of the commentaries. So shout out to you if you're watching it. If you're not, I see you only support certain sort of videos on the channel. But we ain't talking about that right now. All right, but Allen, 17 for 32, 232, 2 TDs, 1 INT. Nothing to make you jump and sit there and say, whoa, man, he was balling out there. But, Cam Newton's now on IR, so it's going to be his show to move. So I guess he's got that monkey off of his back of maybe Cam may come back to take his job. But I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. Is that another phone calling? Daniel Snyder has a cell phone. How did you get a cell phone number? I thought he was just calling the landline. Oh, my Lord, this man, he knows mobile too. Good Lord, man. Put him in the mobile quarterbacks. He knows how to get mobile. All right, but Good victory for the Panthers. DJ Moore over 100 yards. They had 33 minutes of time of possession. In the case of the Titans, Ryan Tannehill was 27 for 39, 331, TD, 2 INTs. Not that great, but when you look at the outside of the INTs, he played pretty solid, but you can't ignore them. On the ground, Derrick Henry didn't really help them out too much, only 63 yards on the ground. Tannehill was their second leading rusher. I believe he ran in that final touchdown that they had that ended up, it brought them within 10. And then Ryan Suckup screwed them over and left 9 points on the field because he didn't make his field goal. All right, you just cut Cody Parkey, and Ryan Suckup out here missing field goals left and right. He ought to put his motherfucking head back down. And on top of that, Tennessee had 11 penalties. Can't win football games like that. Good victory for the Panthers. They're keeping pace, man. They're keeping pace. I'm not saying they're making me a believer, but they're keeping pace, so you can't ignore that. Good victory for the Carolina Panthers. Jets taking on the Dolphins. Once again, Sam Darnold's looking at ghosts. Dolphins get their first victory of the year. Let me just say this. Sam Darnold has lost his team. He has lost his team. Unless he turns this half of the season into what it looked like in the final half of last season, if not the last 6 games of last season, where he was one of the top 3 quarterbacks statistically in the NFL when it comes to QB rating and all the other stuff. He needs to do that in order to get this team back, because the effort that he goes out there and puts it's non-existent. All right, you had a situation in which he could have led to a safety. This man watched the ball. You do that. Can I even believe in you? You're talking about mic'd up, you're seeing ghosts. You look like you got no confidence whatsoever. This man, it's ridiculous. I chastised Adam Gase saying you got to get the ball in Le'Veon Bell's hands. What do we see this week? 17 carries, 66 yards, 8 catches for 55 yards. You put the ball into the hands of Le'Veon Bell. But Sam Darnold out here and got 0 confidence. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, now for the Dolphins, Fitzpatrick, 24 for 36, 288, 3 TDs. Then Preston Williams, 5 catches, 72 yards, and 2 TDs, and a grown man touchdown with one hand, I believe, in the end zone. And on third down, they were 50%. The Dolphins were just a better team. The Jets had probably taken the moniker. Them, the Redskins, the Bengals, all battling to see who's the worst team in the NFL. And damn it, the way the Jets have been playing, they might have just taken that position, regardless of the fact that Cincinnati hasn't won a game. The Jets are disappointed. Bottom line, good victory for the Dolphins. Celebrate. Crack open that goddamn beers. Celebrate with the 72 Dolphins. You can't get into their party because, you know, they're undefeated. And you guys are no longer, winless? You were perfect, right? You were perfect because you never won. Now you're no longer perfect because you won a game, so you can't really hang out with the 72 Dolphins. You can just be outside. Consider it like window shopping. They're going to be on the inside buying stuff. You just watching from afar. That's the Dolphins of 2019. A good victory for them. Next, the Lions taking on the Raiders. Oh, this was an exciting game from start to finish, man. Matthew Stafford, 26 for 41, 406 yards, 3 TDs, 1 INT. Kenny Golladay, it's about time we consider this man as one of the better receivers in the league, if not under the, well, he's not yet elite, but he's approaching that area, because week in, week out, he's putting out a great performance. 4 catches, 132 yards, and a TD. Marvin Jones, 8 catches, 126 yards and a TD. But it just, it was a sensational game, but they just didn't have enough to walk away with the W, because the late game heroics from Derek Vehicle and Hunter Renfrow pretty much put the game away for those Gruden grinders to go back to being at 500. Sensational game from them. Why? Well, first and foremost, Josh Jacobs, who in my opinion is the offensive rookie of the year, he's balling, all right? 28 carries, 120 yards, and 2 TDs. That's Raider football, all right? Maybe not Al Davis Raider football, because he's on some, we're going to hit you in the face with our defense, and we're going to throw it deep every single play. But we ain't talking about that right now, right? Al Davis, rest in peace, buddy. But just with it. That's what the Raiders done did. Okay, Derek Vehicle was out here slinging it, all right? And might I add, in the past 5 games, this particular game, he went 20 for 21, 289 yards, and 2 TDs. But the past 5 games, 69.7 completion percentage, all right? A 9-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's averaging 257 yards on the damn game, each particular game. And more importantly, his passer rating is 112.4. He's balling, man. He's balling. He in the damn dealership every single week, taking care of business. I'm happy and proud of the way he's playing football. More importantly, the Raiders can possess the ball for 32 minutes. All right, you possess the ball for 32 minutes. There's 5 more minutes in your adversary. So you're going to hold on to it, make a little bit more longer drives. When the Lions get the ball back, sometimes they battle against the clock. That's exactly what ended up transpiring. Good victory for the Raiders. I'm happy they're at 500. Those Gruden grinders taking care of business. For Detroit, a bunch of tough losses. I don't know what the deal is. Past 3 years, Detroit been losing some very tough games. They just got to figure out a way to close games out and win those games that can go either way. Because every time Detroit's in a game that can go either way, they be the one who the way don't go his way. All right, somebody call up Uganda Knuckles. Do you know the way? Because the Lions don't know. All right, that's an old meme. I think that was 2017, 18. I'm not too sure. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to myself. Next game. All right, Bears taking on them Eagles. First and foremost, take the L out of Lover. It's over, brother. Time to pull out the plug. I told you last week, I'm not one to pull the plug on quarterbacks. I'm not the one to pull the plug on young draft picks. But damn it, if your hand is close to the outlet, I understand the way that Bears offense looked in the first half. 5 consecutive 3-and-outs, 6 punts. At one point, they only had 3 yards of total offense. 1 yard. I believe they ended the first half with 9 yards of total offense. Mitchell Trubisky ended the game 10 for 21, 125 yards. On the ground, Montgomery ran 14 times, 40 yards, 2 TDs. Those TDs were pretty much insignificant at the end of the damn game. 164 yards of total offense, 20% on third down, 9 penalties. You can't win games like that. You can't win games like that. I told you in the beginning of the season, Chicago will lay an egg this particular year. That offense will not look the same. They're going to have way too much expectation on Mitch Trubisky. Teams are going to figure them out and notice they can't throw the ball vertically down the field. And that defense can only go so far. The 2019 Bears are the 2018 Jags. That's literally what it is. You came into the season, you're like, last year that defense was serious. They meant, man, that team gonna come in this year, they gonna kick. Nope. Because the offensive woes got exposed. Balls. Put me on a mixtape. For the Eagles, all right, Wentz, 26 for 39, 239, and a TD. Howard on the ground, 19 carries, 82 yards and a TD. Ertz, 9 catches, 103 yards and a TD. 40 minutes! Time of possession. You ain't going to beat a team if they possess the ball for 40 minutes. I'm sorry. More importantly, with the Ertz touchdown catch, that was pass interference on offense. I'm sorry. You can't just put your whole hand into Kyle Fuller's face mask and you just get to push off, catch the ball, and go into the end zone. What the hell is offensive pass interference in the NFL? What the hell is defensive pass interference in the NFL? You're going to find out next week. I wanted to do it this week. Don't think I'm going to have the time to get it done because, re-uploading older videos, recording newer videos. So most likely it'll have to be next week. So I have to make that video most likely either Saturday afternoon or most likely the following Monday. But that's coming up soon. But good victory for the Eagles. Good Lord, the Bears got to figure it out offensively. I'd say bringing a quarterback to put some pressure on Mitch Trubisky because this guy's play that ain't it. Bucks and Seahawks, sensational game from start to finish. All right, Jameis Winston, 29 for 44, 335 yards, 2 TDs. Mike Evans went off, 12 catches, 180 yards and a TD. Ronald Jones on the ground, 67 yards and a TD. 35 minutes of time of possession for the Bucks, but somehow they found a way to lose. It's hilarious. Why? 10 penalties. 10 penalties and ineptitude on some drives where they should have been able to convert, but they didn't. For the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, ball. All right, 5 touchdowns. What? How many Booker T? Not 1, not 2, 5 times. I'm not doing the whole doggone thing. All right, 5 TDs for Russell Wilson. 29, 43, 378 yards on the day with 5 TDs. Chris Carson over 100 yards on the ground. Tyler Lockett, he's a virgin. Never fucked a woman. He's fucking up these coverages. 13 catches, 152 yards, 2 TDs. DK Metcalf, created character, player 1. 6 catches, 123 yards, and a TD. Might I add, a very clutch catch in overtime. Sensational game, back and forth. The Bucks are in the same boat as the Lions. They just find ways to lose games. The Lions kind of do. And they get screwed over by the referees as well. But the Bucs either find a way to lose games, or, same boat as the Lions, games that can go either way, they don't go their way. They need to hit them Uganda knuckles too. Do you know the way? The Bucs don't know. Good victory for the damn Seattle. I really like Russell. It's Russell and CMC in the MVP race right now. Nobody else is even close. Sorry. Next, the Browns, Broncos. Disappointment for the Browns yet again. The schedule's getting easier. If they could just win, but it's over. It's over. All right. The way they're playing, they're not gonna win nowhere. All right. They're not gonna be able to win nowhere. First and foremost, Baker Mayfield, 27 for 42, 273 a TD. Nick Chubb, 65 yards, 20 carries for 65 yards. OBJ, 5 catches, 87 yards. Jarvis Landry, 6 catches, 51 yards. They possessed the ball for 35 minutes and they still lost. Why? They didn't convert every opportunity they had. All right? Because he was out here, he was kicking field goals. There was that. You had 2 different situations in which you had a turnover on downs in Broncos territory. One time, I believe it was Baker Mayfield trying to sneak inside the 10, and he failed at that. And then the last drive the Browns had, they failed to convert at like the 28-yard line. You can't play football like that. You can't play football like that. This was a better outing than when they played. Daniel Snyder sending text. It was a better outing than when they played against the Patriots. But this ain't it. For the Broncos, you had Brandon Allen starting his very first game because Joe Flacco's made of glass, and I actually made that prediction. This is around the time where Flacco's body starts to fail him, and what do you know? Just like clockwork, the man ain't played this game. Brandon Allen started. What happened? 12 for 20, 193 yards, got a W. Long touchdown to Noah Fant, I might add. I believe he threw another touchdown as well. Phillip Lindsay, 9 catches, 9 carries, 92 yards in the TD. On his touchdown run, he weaved through that Browns defense. I mean, good Lord. All right, that got to be disrespectful. You see somebody still go right, go left. Man was singing High School Musical, Get Your Head in the Game. Fake right, go left. That's all he was doing. It's all he was doing. It was ridiculous. Good victory for the Broncos. One of those morale builders. And I heard OBJ, they're talking about we might possibly explore moving here if the struggles continue in Cleveland. And him and Jarvis Landry, the customizable cleats. I understand the NFL and their, apparel when you're wearing stuff, their uniform rules, it's all bullocks. Frank Gore got fined $10,000 for his socks being too low, and I think his calves were on display, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. But you're a losing football team. In the case of the Browns, all the expectation of the world on you, the least bit of your concern should be what you're wearing. And I understand, the referees, they're doing too much. I get it. But if you popping out to these games, knowing that, we're losing, I want to win, we're not playing good football, but you want some, I'm going to look pretty anyway. You're minding the wrong direction, man. And I knew this was going to happen with OBJ. Remember the whole thing with the watch? You losing football games, you over here like, if I want to wear the watch, these referees always on me. You play against a Patriot, your number one concern against the Patriots was, I'm going to give these goat skin cleats to Tom Brady. Where's your head at? Where is your head at? I'd love to know, OBJ. And Jarvis, I'm disappointed. I know that's your boy. You never really had that sort of problem, but it seemed like that influence is going around that whole damn locker room. The Browns got to get it together because they have way too much talent to suck as bad as they do right now. They got to get it together, man. They got to get it together. Bottom line, good victory for the Broncos. Next, the Packers taking on the Chargers. What I tell you? Defensive matchup. What I tell you? I said the Chargers going to mess around and get it done. I did. I didn't really go too deep into detail. I just made the prediction. But nonetheless, all right, good victory for the Chargers. First and foremost, Phillip Rivers. 21 for 28, 294. All right, 35 minutes time of possession. Melvin Gordon, 20 carries, 80 yards, 442 yards of total offense. The Packers, not so much, okay? Because Aaron Rodgers, 23, 35, 161 yards in the TD. Aaron Jones did nothing. 8 carries for 30 yards. Atrocious. Devontae Adams returned. the dreadlocks is coming back. Those guys better watch out for the Chargers. He's going to unplug them. 8 catches, 7 catches, 71 yards. They did nothing. 20% on third down. Not winning football. I said this was fixing to be the trap game. That's exactly what it transpired to be. All right, and at one point the Chargers was up by like 3. There was like a 3-possession game. Then the Packers went down the field and finally got into the end zone. And Jamal Williams is dancing. You got to be out of your mind, man. You're getting your ass kicked. Look at the scoreboard. What you dancing for? What are you dancing for? Tough loss for the Packers. Hell of a win for the Chargers. They are a desperate football team and a dangerous football team. You know how many times Phillip Rivers has had a sub 500 record going into November, and then somehow they either sneak their way to the playoffs or they make it competitive up until the last week? Far too many times to count. This is a dangerous football team. You better start to watch out, man. If they stay healthy, Chargers mess around and make a run and have people looking over their shoulders like, what the hell just happened? I thought this team was sub 500. Watch how quick they get 500. I guarantee you. Watch. Next, the Pats and the Ravens. Okay. Oh boy, I'd love to say this was necrophilia immediately, but it wasn't. Lamar Jackson, he did take out his nutsack all over that Pats defense. They simply could not contain him. Went down the field on the opening drive and scored on what seemed to be like a whole first quarter of time of possession. But sensational job from him. Mark Ingram on the ground, pardon me. Fuck out of here, Adrian Peterson. Ingram on the ground, over 100 yards, 15 carries for 115. Lamar Jackson had 16 carries himself for 61 yards and 2 TDs to add 17 for 23, 163 and a TD through the air. He was very efficient. He took care of the football. Sensational job offensively for the Ravens. I was shocked that the Patriots simply could not stop the run. I knew they would struggle against the run with Lamar Jackson because mobile quarterbacks, that's kind of hard to read. But I did not expect to see Mark Ingram do what he did against that defense. He was getting whatever the hell he wanted. He was eating, he was doing the floss all day. The Patriots looked like gingivitis, and Mark Ingram was floss all day. He was just flossing through all them gums. It was crazy. The Patriots looked sloppy offensively. All right, you had Tom Brady go out there. He got sacked early. Or pardon me, yeah, he did get sacked early, but that opening drive, he got hit by Earl Thomas. The pass went incomplete. They gave each other a little bit of a high five, and then the Ravens took like a 10-3 lead. Pardon me, 10-0 lead. Brady took 30 for 46, 285 TD and an INT. Only 74 yards total rushing. More importantly, 22 yards, 22 minutes time for possession. You're not gonna win. This is the blueprint to beat the Patriots. You run the football effectively, you control the clock so you win the time of possession, run the football effectively, you defend the middle of the field, you'll beat the Patriots. It's been the same blueprint for the last 20 years. It's hard as shit to execute. It is not easy to execute. Few teams have been able to pull it off, but when you do, Patriots look like as if they got exposed. That's exactly what happened. Justin Tucker missed an extra point on the same field where made 2 field goals. You want to know why he took this? Because Nick Folk was on the field. He made 2 field goals. Nick Folk made 2 field goals. Justin Tucker missed an extra point. I might just put a Glock 9 in my mouth and pull the trigger 3 times and somehow still survive. I need you to understand. I'm going to put 6 bullets in a revolver. I'm going to put it to my head and play Russian roulette. Somehow I'll still survive because miracles can happen. Nick Folk's making field goals. Justin Tucker's missing extra points. If you got a dream and you don't believe it can happen, go out and do it because Nick Folk is making field goals. This is not a joke. Go out and do whatever it is that you want to do. Oh, it's sold out of Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Go to the store right now. They got an overflow, a surplus. If Nick Folk can make field goals and Justin Tucker misses field goals, anything in life is possible. Anything is possible. Did you ever want to sleep with Marilyn Monroe? Oh no, but she's dead. Go to the gravesite. She's alive. Go over there. Go sleep with her. Probably gonna be a skeleton. That's a lot of necrophilia. Have fun, Ted Bundy. Oh no, I'm not a Ted Bundy kind of guy. I'm a little bit like Jeffrey Dahmer. Whatever the hell it is. All right, but goddamn, good victory for the Ravens. I can't believe Nick Folk, man. I can't believe it. Then we'll transition to Monday Night Football. We saw them boys walk into MetLife Stadium to take on Danny Dimes and the Giants. All right, what transpired? First and foremost, the first half was very slow. The Giants could not, for some apparent reason, put more touchdowns on the board. Dallas had to keep settling for field goals. Then ultimately that magnificent catch from Golden Tate. I loved every second of it. Dallas ended up taking the lead prior to halftime. I believe the kick right before halftime from Brett Maher from 52 yards out, because he missed a 54-yarder and then he made a 52-yarder, or either he made the 54-yarder and missed a 52-yarder. Whatever the case is, he missed one, he made another one in the first half. The second, Giants were non-existent. More importantly, there was a goddamn cat on the field. Who let Salem from the teenage witch, Sabrina the teenage witch, get on the damn field? It's ridiculous. Who just let these animals loose? All right, a couple years back, was it a cat? Was it a dog? Was it a squirrel? Whatever the case may be. In Buffalo, they throw dildos on the field. Evidently, in New York, you got animals that run on the damn field. What's going on? It's ridiculous. All right. Then Dak, 22 for 35, 257, 3 TDs and an INT. Magnificent touchdown to Amari Cooper. I loved it. Blake Jarwin was wide open. That must have been a scheme sort of situation. Michael Gallup had a sensational leap into the end zone. I like the way that Dallas played. Zeke on the ground, 23 carries, 139 yards. Great game from them. Danny Dimes, 210 and an INT. Barkley was pretty much held in check. 14 carries, 28 yards. 6 catches, 67 yards. Nothing really too special from the New York side. For Dallas, much needed win, divisional win. They got to keep pace with the Philadelphia Eagles, although they're leading above the Eagles, I believe, by 1 game. But Dallas is doing their thing. Tough task coming up this particular week. I think Sunday Night Football, they're playing against the Vikings. But they're in Dallas, so things should go in their favor. But nonetheless, it is Minnesota. Who knows how things will play out? Who knows? But good victory for Dallas. Them boys took care of business. And last but not least, the Colts taking on the Steelers. But before I get into it, let me just make sure I touched on every single game. Did I talk about the Vikings and the Chiefs? I don't think I did. First and foremost, Kirk family member, 19 for 38, 220 and 3 TDs. Dalvin Cook, 21 carries, 71 yards on the ground. Stephon Diggs, non-existent. All of the Diglets did not come out. Doug Trios was nowhere to be found. The man only had 4 yards. All right, Matt Moore held it down. Okay, he went out there 25 for 35, 275 yards and a TD. Damian Williams, South Park son of Satan, Damian Williams, had 12 carries, 125 yards and a TD. I think it was like a 91-yard run. But also Tariq Hill, 6 catches, 140 yards and a TD. Harrison Buckner was the story of this game, though, because every opportunity he had his number called, he went out there and put the ball through the uprights. 4 field goals on the day. The game-tying field goal, the game-winning field goal. Sensational game from him for the Vikings. This was a great game. Back and forth. Very, very good game. Adam Thielen got hurt. I wish this man nothing but health in his future. It's the hamstring that's very tough, especially when you're a wide receiver. I hope he's able to play this upcoming game, but if he can't, Stephon Diggs has better resurface, because he had 3 consecutive games in which this man was balling and then he disappeared. So he needs to resurface. But sensational game, but you know, the Chiefs walked away with the W. And Patrick Mahomes is on the field. So for the Chiefs, finally, they broke their losing streak at home. Because again, Arrowhead is supposed to be one of those stadiums that when you walk in, you feel as if the Chiefs have a home field advantage. If they're losing at home, that takes away that mystique. And once again, they got themselves a W, and they showed the Minnesota Vikings and showed the rest of the NFL that, hey, if Patrick Mahomes is here on the field, and if his spirit is playing through, you know, the body of Matt Moore, not only will they be out there, you know, changing up the houses, it's going to be free real estate. Sensational game. But last but not least, the Colts taking on the Steelers. And this game ended in OT. Pardon me, it did not, because they didn't get an opportunity to get there. Why? Because Adam Vinatieri missed the game-winning field goal. Before we even get into that, Jacoby Brissett, he got hurt. Quentin Nelson got bench pressed by Cam Hayward onto the legs of Jacoby Brissett, and he could not finish the game. I heard it's something with the MCL, so I hope, again, like I mentioned earlier, he'll be healthy moving forward. But if not, they're rolling with Brian Hoyer, who didn't even play that bad at that. Because he had 17 for 26, 168 yards, 3 TDs, and an INT. Marlon Mack on the ground, 21 carries, 89 yards. But it all went for naught. Why? Because Sanchez turned the laces in. The laces has got to be out. Laces cannot be in. What is he doing? For Pittsburgh, Mason Rudolph, once again, himself and Randy Fichtner, I don't know what the deal is, but they kept going to this short intermediate sort of game, and I was utterly disgusted with it. Because there's no reason why they didn't try to throw the ball vertically down the field. The Colts, defensively, were not good against the pass whatsoever this season thus far. And for some apparent reason, Jalen Samuels breaks the Steelers' record for receptions from a running back, 13 catches for 73 yards. Trey Edmonds, because Snell is hurt and James Conner was hurt, he had to step in at running back, and he actually had a decent game running for 73 yards, and he had a big-time carry. But ultimately, the defense is what did it for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Bud Dupree had 2 sacks, fumble recovery, and a forced fumble. TJ Watt had 1.5 sacks and took care of business. And that secondary, Minka Fitzpatrick, showing why this man, I was so happy when he had gotten drafted coming out of Alabama. I was hoping he could have been a Pittsburgh Steeler, and look how things come to fruition. I absolutely love this kid, man. He had a 96-yard pick six, sensational job. 5 sacks on that Colts offensive line. Sensational job from the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Big time win. Now, if T.Y. Hilton had played and Jacoby Brissett stayed healthy, who knows how things could have transpired. But then again, you're playing against a team in Pittsburgh who Ben Roethlisberger is not out there. So anybody making excuses about injuries, it's pretty much, it's moot. Although there's a little bit of a difference, because teams losing their players during the game versus already losing the players before the game is completely different. But the Colts had themselves in a position to win. Adam Vinatieri, Sanchez were not on the same page. That cost them the W. But this has been your 2019 NFL Week 9 post-game analysis show. I have been the host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. And later today, we got the pre-game picks for Week 10. Stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be doing commentary on the Oakland Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers on the Hot Mic app. I'm going to put all the links in the description at the top pinned comment. Matter of fact, no, it's not going to be the top pinned comment, because I'm waiting for the timestamps guy to come and put that in there. Then I'll just comment back to the timestamps guy. No, pardon me. I am going to put it as the top comment. I'm going to copy and paste the timestamps and then put that in the top pinned comment. But use the promo code Adonis. A couple of you guys downloaded the app, but you did not use the promo code. Use the promo code, and then I'll see you later on tonight while I'm doing the live stream. I'm going to see if I can simulcast it with YouTube. But once again, this has been your 2019 NFL post-game analysis show for Week 9. And if you didn't know, get familiar. I already done told you twice when I introduced myself and how I put it a couple of seconds ago when I said who I was. But you need to hear it one more time. I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. You enjoy your Thursday night. And remember to tune in on Hot Mic. I'm doing live commentary. You're not going to want to miss it.